Welcome to this Zentangle Quickie. My name is Heather Hartwick Gladden. I'm a certified Zentangle teacher, and today we're going to take a look at the Tangle Flurry from CZT Suzanne McNeill. All right, so when I saw this one come on my email today from Tangle Patterns, I knew I had to do it because I believe yesterday here in Michigan there were some flurries. So I didn't see them, but I believe the couple sources that had told me about that. All right, so this one starts off. I've pre-populated my bijou tile with a little inked border around the edge. And so this one starts off with we're gonna a column separated by pairs of lines or double lines. All right, so I'm going to put one right here at the edge. So that one of them's already done. So then I'm auraing that. I'm going to see if I can fit 3 sections in here because I want to have them be 3 full sections versus what I normally like to do, which is where I have little partial, pieces to fill in. All right. And then on this side also. Okay. So whatever type of, whatever section that you might be working on, this is the starting step. Then we're going to do, well, you can do this either with straight lines or curved lines. I'm going to do my best to make them curved lines and pick a column. And I'm going from the lower left, and then I'm making a curved line to wherever it lands on the right side, but at that next pair of lines there. Then I'm going to turn my tile a little bit. Oh, nope. Sorry. When I was looking at Suzanne's step out, I kind of went back and forth, and I had to play with it a little bit just to see how she was doing this aura'd. And what I came up with was, and I separated it out on my step out. So you get the one line, and then go ahead and aura that line. Okay, and then from the end of that one, where that one ends, you can make another curved line, and then aura that one. And then just continue on up like that. The reason I was thinking it was different, because, you could have a different effect if you, did this, because I was looking at where they ended, and there's just some different effects depending on how you do them. So I wanted to make sure I was doing it the right way. All right, so or at least the way that Suzanne has it, so that way we can, emulate that. Then, all bets are off, and we can, you can have fun playing with this. All right, and then we're going to continue that up each column. And you do not have to worry about having anything match up. Part of the reason I turn my tile is to utilize the natural curve as I have my hand, planted here. And then I can just curve. So that's why I turn my tile, and that's what makes it comfortable. And then sometimes it works, and sometimes it doesn't. As far as having the curve be consistent, it works more often than not. Usually when I'm thinking about it, then it doesn't work. Sometimes we have to work to shut the brain off sometimes. All right. And like so. All right. Then, from here, from this curved line, we're going to kind of in the middle, we're going to do another pair of curved lines down to that crevice in the corner there. So, like so. And then, again, the same thing. Let's see. Let me make it so it's comfortable. Okay, this will be this way. And aim for that corner. So that's why I like to kind of have a, let's see, let me look at hers. Oh, no, some of hers are going, some of them look a little straight. Some of them, I was trying to tell, because like I curved this way and curved this way. However you end up doing it is going to be fine. As, for those that are familiar with Zentangle, that's how we roll. See, like that one, I have them curved both going the same direction. And I think I kind of like it that way. All right. And then, then I'm like, okay, which way am I turning this so that way it's most comfortable? And then again, for me, if I want to have consistency, that certainly helps. Actually, this one could look kind of neat just as it is, but we do have another step. And we'll get this last column done here. You could too, like I'm flipping each, I'm going up each section and turning my tile, obviously, for each one. You could, if you wanted to, do each direction separately. So you could do like all, like this. Well, we would make different columns. And I share that just because we all work differently. And, oh, and actually, and I have these little partials here. So this would have one coming out here, and so would that, just like so. Okay, so once we have this, then more aura-ing, and we're going to aura, let's see, I might as well start from the bottom and go up, this curved line. And so you, of course, can decide, and we're going to utilize the hallabau technique. So if you are not familiar to utilize hallabau, we're going underneath this, whatever we want to call it, this bridge, this pair of lines. We're going to go underneath those two lines. And so what we do is, you're drawing, pick up your pen, instead of drawing through, I have it travel over and then put it down on the other side and continue. And I like to do this in one, it's not really one stroke, but it's one mental process is the way I think of it. So it's as if it's one stroke. And that's why having your pen travel over is helpful. Because then it can be more like one stroke. And it's kind of hard sometimes when it's like, okay, we're going over this curve here. I was feeling like, okay, I have a straight line. It kind of ended up that way. Now you, of course, can decide how close together or how far apart you want to have your lines, and it's something fun that you could play with to get different effects. And it's just, whatever you like. Now this one I did a little bit differently because I have this partial, and I was like, okay, I should have just started there and then continued. Sometimes I don't listen to myself. And usually when I do that, then I regret it. And I don't know if I explained this. So the reason that we do that is so that way it gives the impression that it is like a continuous line that went underneath, and somehow by some magic we've drawn this, over the top or placed it there. With computers nowadays, you can just do that, but to do it pen and ink is something different. There we go. And the other thing too is I just noticed I did this here, is thinking one continuous line keeps it from doing what I did here, which was like, oh, curve line, and it's one big line. This makes me think, as a musician, this makes me think of this example when we would work on phrasing, and when I teach phrasing to my students, and it's not like how I'm speaking right now, because as I'm speaking and I'm doing, sometimes I'm pausing in the wrong place and not necessarily finishing my sentences, because sometimes it's hard to do this and you get that multitasking going. But in phrasing, what we would want to do is, if you're thinking of a song, the phrasing, just like, in a sentence, your voice, kind of, it raises a little, it's maybe lower at the beginning, then it raises up in pitch just a little bit. And then if you have a question, it goes up a little bit. When you're finishing your sentence, say with just a period, then it goes down. If you're finishing a statement, if you have a comma statement where you're pausing to go on, it's a different tone. So when I'm thinking about this, I'm thinking the same way. It's like, okay, I'm going here and I'm just continuing. So that way we don't have this start, stop, start, stop, start, stop. And that's something that, as young musicians, as they learn, actually it makes them play better when they grasp that. And like this one, I'm going to do this one from the other side because I find it, because it's easier, but it's the same concept. Same concept, sort of. Because I'm doing it backwards, because it feels more comfortable, then sometimes I end up having my line go over where it's not supposed to be. But that's okay. Things like that can be fixed. And as you notice, if you notice that you've done something and you're like, oh, I don't like that, I always make a mental note. And then when you're all done, then we can go back and assess and figure out, well, okay, is it still, something that's so horrible that we need to fix? Because sometimes I'll have something that ends up to be something that ends up disappearing. Oh, they did that again. In the pattern, and so it's not noticeable and not anything to worry about. And then after that, you can decide if you want to, what will it take to make you happy with what you've done. And a couple initial things are, could it be fixed by shading? Is it something that's like at an edge where, well, even though that one went in, no, will it be fixed by shading? And then how do I want to shade this? And maybe that would help determine that. Or can I fill this in? And of course you can. So like anything in here, you can fill in as we do the decorating part of this. And this is the tangle. So this is it. We can add some shading, and let me just do that, because I do have an example of one way that you could kind of decorate this. I'm having all of a sudden a flurry of ideas. Here's something too. So if you, because like some of mine, I see where I kind of picked up where I have curve line, and here's something I think it's not too small to do this. We'll see. And I should start at the center. So I'm going to put some graphite on the three sides here. And I'm putting the graphite where, let's see, where the lines cross, essentially. So like this is going underneath, so we're going to emphasize that underneath part. And like here, where this is going into here, oops, always good to point your pencil at the line that you want to put the graphite on, not over it like this, because a lot of times it just won't end well. And I'm trying to go light because this area is small. I should have done it in the middle, because that way, in case I decide I want to do something else on the other lines, or the other columns. All right. And then I have a fairly new tortillon, and what I'm going to do, I'm just going to push the graphite up. So that way, I'm following the line that way, so going up, so as not to spread it too far in between. Because if I do that, if I was to make the little circles or something, I would end up with too much in the middle, and I would not be seeing any natural tile color, as you can see. And oh my goodness, is that looking neat. Oops, I'm sorry for my shaking of the table, which is also shaking the camera. Now you can play with how, of course, how much graphite, how dark do you want to go? A lot of times, some of the most gorgeous things I see when I'm looking at it and kind of analyzing, all right, what did they do? Why does that look so amazing? A lot of times it's because they used a good amount of graphite, and it creates the drama, or the great contrast, and it just, some things just look absolutely remarkable. And what I'd encourage you to do is, when you see something that just blows you away, is, think about it in terms of, well, what did they do? And analyze it, and take a peek, because a lot of it is just strategic placement of the graphite and the amount of graphite. All right, and let me push pause quick, because to finish this, putting this graphite down here. And we'll see the end result. Although it's like I don't want to stop doing it to lift up my hand to push pause. But it's really remarkable. Okay, so I will be right back. And if you're tangling along with me, push pause, and we'll both be back at the same time as soon as we're done adding the graphite. All right, be right back. All right, just look at how remarkable that is. Something else as I was finishing this up that I was thinking about is also keeping, if you want to have the drama, having it darker is one thing, but also, you want to have some gradient, but also keeping it, just kind of keeping it tight to the line that that you're going around. So like here, it's like the graphite, it does have a gradient coming out, but it's like a short gradient. We'll call it that. That'll be my new technical term. Short gradients. And then I can see where, okay, this is a little bit lighter, and and then you can just work and play, and have it match up if you can, or just always take a look. Sometimes taking a look in the mirror, taking a picture of it, of your tangle, and examining it that way, just to see what else that you might be able to do. I am looking at this in a lot of amazement, because it's just like, wow, that's remarkable. I will always be, it's like, I think I will always be absolutely amazed and enamored at what can happen with some graphite. And just because, again, I don't have any artistic background at all. The closest I have is my mother, who studied art. And you'll have to, if you want to hear more of that story, come and join us on my Tangle Time sessions. It's a free sessions where we explore a tangle or two. They're on Thursdays. Information is on my website, and that information is in the description section below, underneath or below where the step outs are. Would love to have you, but with no art background or skill really, except I do follow directions pretty well, and that's what I attribute this to. But I am just, wow, that's really neat. Now, some other things you could do, though, this I didn't shade. I was just playing with the idea of just shading in sections, and I know Linda did this on hers. You could fill in all of those initial areas if you wanted to, fill them in, either if you're doing, just black and white and graphite, then you could do that. You could add color if you want to. So many options. And I'm picturing some other things, that you decorating, could decorate things in outside of doing solid. I'm picturing orbs. That could be really fun. But anyway, so the sky is the limit. Your imagination is the limit, for what else you could end up doing with this. Speaking is not my strong suit today, apparently, but the sky's the limit with what you can do with this tangle, and just having fun with, like I said, shading and decorating and all of that. So if you enjoyed the video, would love to have a thumbs up, like, share, subscribe, and all of that. Subscription to the channel, of course, is free, and would love to have your subscription. Also, do check out the website. Would love to see you on a Tangle Time. and lots of other information. I do Tangle Times every week. I throw in some other ones, and once a month I have a class that is one that is that people pay for, or it's part of my. I have a membership, Tangle Addicts membership club, and it anything that I do that's well, both free and paid. Everything is included in that membership, so take a look at that if you're interested. Would love to hear your comments. And yes, and join us, on Facebook or Instagram. I would love to see your work. You can just tag me, and all of that information, again, is on my website as far as connecting. And with that, thanks for watching, and I wish you happy tangling.